minute. We're going to be heading on over to Matt Stevens here, though, for just a little bit of look at what's happened so far this race.
Well, Nathan, what an extraordinary start. We knew that these climbs would be really damaging. We saw a little bit of a lull after those very, very, very early sprints. Then we saw a lull, but the damage was done on the first descent of Libby's, and then on the next climb of 23rd Street, exactly the kind of racing that I expected. Some big, big numbers, and the class has really risen to the top. We've got John Mould in there, we've got Connor Swift, we've got Alex West. It's a superstar group of riders. The question is there going to be enough organisation? Is there going to be enough cohesion? Is there going to be enough cohesion behind to try and bring that breakaway back? Because at the moment, it looks to me as if Madison Genesis are using the National Road Champ to try and make sure that breakaway stays clear. Remember, this is only 2 laps. Each lap, 16.2k, 1 lap to go. And remember, 3 climbs. I think we could have a small breakaway, stay away to the finish today, but I think it's going to suit something that can go very, very long. This isn't a pure sprinter's day at all. Fascinating stuff, but this is an elite group that's moving clear now.
Thanks a lot, Matt. And it looks like, man, I think that is absolutely right on the money there as far as what is happening here with Madison Genesis. Using those climbs that have put everybody way over threshold. They put everybody in the hurt locker and completely demolishing the pack from that is now trying to chase them down at this point. Now, in the front group at this point, we do have, as you said, an extremely elite group. Then it looks like there's about a 22-second gap back to the chase at this point. Adam Zimmerman from the All-Stars, Ben Healy from Team Wiggins-LaCole. We're looking at Ian Bibby there from Madison Genesis. Joey Walker's in there as well from Madison Genesis. Madison Genesis actually able to place 3 of their riders. Interesting to see, though, it looks like John Mould has not been able to make this front group from what I can see at this point. Mouldy unable to make it across into this front end group at this point. So they do have those still. Ian Bibby, Joey Walker, as well as Connor Swift right now. It looks like Connor Brown also from Team Dimension for Quebec. The Zwift All-Stars with Adam Zimmerman, Lionel Villassen, and Matthew Grosjean. Grosjean being involved in this is a serious threat. This is his kind of course there, I think, as well, with that climb into a sprint at the finish there. Very, very interesting to see that they have made 3 into this front group. Looking at those live shots there from Ice Bike now, we are seeing Mould on the right-hand side. We've got Joey Walker chatting a little bit over to Ian as well. It looks like they're definitely a little bit of chatter there, chatting about what is the next tack there. It doesn't look like they've been very interested in the sprint competition. I think that the reality for Madison Genesis today is that they're in it to win the overall. We are on the final lap now. Final lap out here on the KISS Super League, race number 5, and it is going to be Team Dimension for Quebec, Madison Genesis, the Zwift Academy Dream Team, the Zwift All-Stars, Team Wiggins for LaCole, as well as Vitus Pro Cycling involved in this breakaway now. Sprint number 3 is coming up here in just a second, and we have seen the All-Stars absolutely dominating the sprint so far, with Lionel Villassen taking the first 2, as well as the KOMs out there, it looked like. Lionel out of Belgium here for the All-Stars, just taking absolutely the pull by the horns and taking down the competitions out here in the middle of this race. Now, I wonder if he's going to have anything left for the W as well, as he has made this front group now. It looks like with 10 points right now. Chris Sheriff's there with 5, it looks like, for second place. It looks like Mikey Motrem there with 3, and Matthew Grosjean for 2, and John Mould with 5 points, John Mould with 1 point on the day in 5th place, as you can see. John, though, off the back here at this point, I believe, and unable to make this front group as the KOMs have absolutely demolished a lot of the riders out there, with only, it looks like, 10 riders still involved in this front group from what we can see out on course. Well, 11, excuse me, we're looking at 11 place or so, though, so we'll see how the on-screen graphics do change up there a little bit there, as we're looking at 4th place. Now up in the 2nd there, just going to be Connor Swift there, making his way to the front to control things at 4.5 watts per kilogram. Be interesting to see what kind of roles do play out, who's going to be the ones to try and take down the W up and over the top of the Governor Street, as we do look forward toward the final case in just a moment here, but it is going to be the next sprint now starting up here as we head into the about 300 meters to go, and it is Viasen here in the sprint jersey that he's earned out on course by taking down those sprints, as well as the KOM. He's got a double jersey going on right now that you can get awarded in the game. If you do have the fastest times through those sections, the game does give you those. You see Viasen hammering away off the front there. Vitus Pro following up very closely there, and it looks like he's going to, the Vitus Pro cycling team member is going to be able to take down the second place, and that is going to be Tori there. Followed up by, it looked like perhaps Mold actually is involved in that front group. We lost him there for a second. It looked like on screen. So we've had a couple of riders disappearing here and there for some odd reason, but we'll see if we can stay with it here and make sure that we've got the correct calls here for you all about who has made the front groups now, as I do see John Mold is actually still involved in the front group there. So sorry about that call there, as it looks like he has definitely made the front groups. We do see him up toward the front there in the KOM jersey, actually, Moldy there. So Lino Viasen there, sprint number 3, takes it down, and with a solid pattern of 13 points, doesn't even need to contest the next sprint if he does not want to. Maybe just do it for pride there out there today, as we do see it is going to be Chris Sheriffs and Alistair Donahue there taking down second and third. There's still a battle for second place there out there, as you can see, for the sprint competition right now. Alex West, that we're looking at now on the right-hand side, highlighted in the upper left-hand side of the screen. You can see his current wattage there at 331 watts right now in the green kits. For those of you unfamiliar with all the kits out on course, you do see it is going to be the ZA Dream Team in the green kits. Madison Genesis there in the red and dark blue. Now Team Dimension Quebeca there on the left with Brown making his way up the left-hand side of the screen there to the front of the pack to try and take over. It looks like they're Brown now at 3.0 watts per kilogram, settling it down a little bit, calming it down before they hit this next sprint section out on course. It'll be interesting to see if we do have any contention for the next sprint, as you know, it is kind of said and done at this point. Donahoe out there, as well as Tori, perhaps going to be battling it out for the first spot, try and grab another 5 points and maybe take down the second place on the podium today. So lap number 2 that we're on to the final lap here, just 2 today, and it's going to be all about the KOMs for this front group. They are not opening up a massive gap. It is closable perhaps, 30 seconds or so back to the chase group out there. We'll have to see if that chase group can get organized there. You know, a lot of times though, with this kind of a group off the front here, and the kind of talent that is amongst them and the power that is here, it might be a race for out to 15th place, it looks like, or so, for the riders that are in the chase group. And there are still points awarded all the way down to 31st place, so it's definitely still within, you know, still in their interest to take down as many points as you possibly can in those chase groups, as it is all about the team competition. It's all about the team competition in these series of races. 10 races, 8 races count toward the team overall. In front of the race that we're looking at right now, though, it is Alex West, 168 beats per minute. As you can see, upper left-hand corner. What's going to be interesting is how many power-ups have been conserved. We've seen the All-Stars using a lot of power-ups so far. I thought I saw a couple of power-ups come from the Madison Genesis boys as well. Who's going to be saving up those arrow power-ups? Because it's going to be all about the arrow power-ups in that final sprint up over the top of Governor Street. It's a steady climb, steady grind to the top of Governor Street, and then essentially you are well over threshold and still have to sprint at the end of the end of that final case. So it is one of the most difficult climbs out there out on Zwift here. Sprint number 4, here we go, as it's going to start ramping up if they do want these points, or will it be a situation where they know that it's said and done, Lionel's got the points, they know that nobody can grab this competition any longer for the first place. So the question is, are they going to just roll through, or is there going to be an actual competition for this? It does look like Ollie Jones here making his way to the front there at 4.9 watts per kilogram, followed by Healy there from Wiggins. Lacole coming out of Ireland at 177 beats per minute. There is a little bit of a kick now. Here we go. Madison Genesis, Moldy, not letting things really calm down at all as John goes to the front end of this pack. Adam Zimmerman now follows it up very quickly. Now we have a feather power up, interestingly enough, from the rider from the All-Stars. It is Adam Zimmerman on the right-hand side of the screen. Now it's Tori, though, who was going for the top spot in that sprint to try and grab 5 points, and it looks like he did so, and may be moving up into second place, solidifying that second place on the podium for the sprint competition. So that was a battle there for the sprint competition. The sprints are all done, said and done for the day. You can see in the upper right-hand side of your screen right now, the mini-map shows where the riders are on the course there, where the little green circles are there. Those were the 2 sprint competitions. They're about halfway through this second lap. As you can see, the little orange dot there just above that second sprint circle there. That is where the current rider we are looking at is. They're about to head downhill into the industrial park and head on toward Libby Hill right now. Negative 6% grading. Things are going to calm down for sure at this point. This is very difficult to get away on a downhill, just like in real life. Alex West now, 3.6 watts per kilometer, making his way to the front there for the ZA Dream team there in the green kits now. We do see the All-Stars there coalescing at the back there, taking over the front. It will be Brown, it looks like here, from Team Adventure for Quebec. Now Healy from Wiggins Lacole taking over the front too, it looks like. Very chill though at a 4.1 watts per kilogram. These boys we've seen in the past throwing down somewhere to 5 to 6 watts per kilogram for the durations of these races. So far, I can say for sure we've got quite a few riders over 5 watts per kilogram for the duration of 31 minutes so far. So absolutely flying out here. Looking for those reprieves though, looking for a little bit of a rest now because they know what is on its way. Libby Hill into 23rd Street. But it is Viasen there with 13 points, not having to contest that second sprint out on course there for this second lap. Alistair Donoghue though does take it down. Interesting to see as he's got 10 points followed by Timothy Torrey there. So it looks like Alistair was able to throw down and take down and solidify that second place on the sprint competition there, followed up by Torrey in third. Now before we head on into Libby Hill though, we're going to be heading on over to Matt Stevens for just a little bit more of a look at how things have gone down so far in the race and maybe some race predictions for the finish. Matt, on over to you.
Thanks very much indeed, Nathan. It's been a riveting race so far. Of course, we've got this flat section. This is one of the only points in the course where the riders can think about what's going to happen next. There's going to be a little bit of a lull, but what it does provide is happening now is the catalyst for some riders to go ahead and go early. Somebody has just launched up there. I think it's actually, looks like Healy, the Irish rider, has gone clear, using a bit of a power up. Drujon from the Swift Academy. It is Healy of Wiggins Lacole, a rider who had a few technical problems in the opening round. Clearly very, very strong. 2 riders just going clear. They've got 7 seconds already. That just shows how this part of this course can be played in 2 ways. You either go long or you back off. It's a place to conserve energy because you can lose so much on the next 2 climbs. We know how damaging the climb of Libby's Hill can be, but these 2 riders have taken a little bit of a gamble. Let's hope they've not used up too much now, but this is going to be, it is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm going to hand it back to Nathan, but my prediction, I think it's going to be one of the riders from Madison Genesis doing it again. Let's find out.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree that it's a good bet to bet on Madison Genesis so far. Taking down 4 races so far. I mean, these guys have been absolutely demolishing things out here. So it looks like Healy here from Wiggins Lacole, the Irish rider, as you were saying, on the break there. Drujon followed it up very quickly here. They've got plenty of matches to burn with the All-Stars that are in the pack. So Viasen there sitting in, getting a free ride back up to the wheel, it looks like here. They threw Drujon, though, up ahead there with Healy just to make sure if something does get away that they at least have something involved. With so many riders in this front group, the All-Stars have a lot to work with here. It's going to be interesting to see. I think the All-Stars have been chomping at the bit, though, a little bit to try and take down that W in one of these races. They've been so close to making it happen, but Madison Genesis upsetting over and over again, showing why they're the pros out on course here, that it's not just experience and tactics of Swift, it also takes a lot of power to try and win one of these races out here. So looking to the front end here, though, we do see it is Connor Swift there now in that UK National Champions kit, now making his way to the front, calming it down just a little bit as he works his way backwards in about 3rd or 4th position now. We do see the fastest lap out on course, it looks like, being held down by the Vitus Pro Cycling team. That is that orange kit that you do see being donned by the rider there on the right-hand side. You We also have other kits on the right-hand side of the screen where the riders are highlighted. You do see a couple of other jerseys next to their names. Those mean they are currently holding the fastest times for those sections of the course. You do see Mold there with the KOM next to his name. You do see the fastest lap on that orange jersey next to the name of the Vicious Pro Cycling. So interesting little tidbit there about the on-screen graphics of what the riders have earned for the fastest times through those sections. Starting the second time up over the top of Libby Hill here, the third KOM competition is on its way for the day here, and it is going to be Swift making his way to the front now. Now we do see the Dream Team, though, taking over the front in the green kit there. I believe it is going to be Alex West. Yep, it is Alex West with 8% gradient being felt into those legs with 636 watts right now. Joey Walker from Madison Genesis now taking up the third spot on course, and then it is going to be Connor Swift there again making his way to the front there, following the wheel with a little bit of a gap opening up between the riders here. Madison Genesis really taking over the front end of this race now, as they do have four in and amongst them. Ian Bibby now making his way to the front. It looks like four of the Madison Genesis boys completely taking over the front end of this pack now. Joey Walker, Ian Bibby, it's Connor Swift toward the front now, but no, the All-Stars now coming through as it is Austin unstoppable today with these KOM competitions now. 185 beats per minute over the front of this race and over the top of the KOM there, as we do see 3 kilometers to go as they head on over toward 23rd Street on this left-hand turn. A little bit of a lull, perhaps. Will there be a counter? Does anybody have anything in the tank? Madison Genesis now to the front. No, Team Dimension 4 Quebec now on the front with Brown. Is Brown going to make a little bit of a move here onto this downhill and keep the speed rolling? No, it looks like things are calming right on down, and they definitely need to with 23rd Street. I mean, this climb is just monstrous. It is very short, but it is absolutely torturous with what kind of an uphill sprint, essentially, that it is. Into 16-17% gradients, it really puts the sting into the legs. They head down here, 72 kilometers per hour right now, 30.1 kilometers into this race. 37 minutes of racing down so far as we look at Joey Walker here at 4.3 watts per kilogram, trying to bring that heart rate down, but it's 189 beats per minute. Right-hand turn into the KOM here. Madison Genesis taking over the front. Will Austin make it a 4 for 4, though? Austin, 11 watts per kilogram at the front. The All-Stars taking over the front end of this race still with 2 kilometers to go. Everything he's got, though, to the King of the Mountain line. Mold, though, coming through. This may be about the race win, though, rather than the KOM banner. Now, again, it is going to be, I believe, the All-Stars taking that one down. It looked like with that side camera shot, just barely able to snip that at the line there for the KOM, but it is now very quickly going to be heading into the Governor Street climb. Not a whole lot of time to gather yourself and try and find those wattages to make it over the top for that final sprint. The riders most likely are going to be trying to get a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a sigh of relief, just a moment of relief over the top of the KOM, and then next thing you know, in your face is a 5, 6, 7% gradient climb for about a minute and a half or so into a full-on sprint is what we're looking at coming at us right here at 189 beats per minute. Walker now 4.9 watts per kilogram. Madison Genesis now trying to take over the front end of this pack. Mold now, can he make it another win, another sprint out on course here in the Richmond course on this UCI course? Will he make it happen? Ian Bibby, though, on the front, will he be the climber that he showed us to be on the Volcano After Party in race number 1? Alex West now we're seeing from the Dream Team, 163 beats per minute. It is now Vicious Pro Cycling now making the way over to the front now. Now the Dream Team to the front end of this pack. Looks like it's going to be Vuasin, Zimmerman. Is Drujan is still in there as well. The All-Stars with 3. Madison Genesis with 4 involved here. We've got one rider from Vicious Pro Cycling still involved in this race now for the win. Team Dimension for Quebec and now in there as well. It looks like the Mold, 6.8 watts per kilogram, starting to climb strong. Not into the orange numbers, strong, but not full on attack mode just yet. Maybe though, we saw him for a moment there at 9 watts per kilogram. The Dream Team now on the front. Now Madison Genesis taking back over. You know, it's interesting. At the front end of these climbs like that, it really is about positioning. You let somebody take over the front, and then you get a little bit concerned. You say, no, I got to give another kick. You do not want to find yourself too far back because that 5 to 10 meters matters at the final sprint now. But now Bibby, this looks to be a serious attack from Bibby a moment ago. No, backs off the 3 though, making sure again that he's positioned correctly for the all-out attack that it will be into the final 3 or 400 meters to the line out on this UCI Richmond course. 5% gradient. We're going to take a left-hand turn in just a moment here. We'll be looking at the finishing straight as it's Ollie Jones from the Dream Team taking over the front end of this group now. Left-hand turn here now as the group is all still together. Nobody dropping off. Carpenter on the back. Wiggins LaCole now maybe just setting up for a sprint or maybe just hanging on. The Dream Team now going. Here we go though. It is going to be Brown though from Team Dimension for Quebec with the very early Aero power-up. Will they be able to get the first W of this series now? Aero power-up with, I think it's about 30 seconds to the line. This is an amazing move. 11 watts per kilogram coming from the Kiwi. Brown. Team Dimension for Quebec might be able to make it happen, but Bibby now, 13 watts per kilogram, 14 watts per kilogram. West coming through, flying. Alex West is gonna take it down, the first W for Swift Academy Dream Team, followed up by Ian Bibby of Madison Genesis. John Mold coming through for third, it looks like. We'll have to get the replay. It looks like the Dream Team has made the dream happen today with that W out on the UCI Richmond's course. Amazing result there for Alex West. He shows us why he can climb into the sprint, that's for sure today. Ian Bibby there, I think, was really chomping at the bit to try and grab that today, but was unable to make it happen. Definitely the climber for the team out there for Madison Genesis. Ian Bibby's been showing us there. It has that kick at the end, but Alex West for the Dream Team showing us why he is on that team today. So amazing job. Looking at Hincapie BMC here, making his way to the line there on that Aero power-up. Looks like we're going to be looking at a replay here of that finish, though. Let's see how this played out. C. Brown here with that very early attack. He thought he had it. I thought he had it, but with the normal, that usual situation where the pack just comes flying down in the last 100 meters, and it was Bibby who led things out into the final 100 meters, but the ZA Dream Team with that Alex West, huge wattage and crazy speed coming on through in that last 100 meters, was able to come right on by Bibby with just the right kick into the last 100 meters there. So Alex West, 14 watts per kilometer, as you can see there, must have been doing 60 kilometers per hour with that Aero power-up, and able to take it down there for the W. Bibby there, it looks like, coming through for second, just barely coming by. Brown was trying to hold on to that third place, but just got nipped right at the line. Alex West followed by Ian Bibby by 0.2 of a second. John Mold actually takes it down for third place there, 1 second back. Connor Brown now fourth place there. Looks like Timothy Torrey, and then Connor Swifter sixth. Matthew Jujan is seventh, and it's Joey Walker in eighth. Ollie Jones brings it in for the Zift Academy Dream Team in ninth. Lionel Viasin, 10th place, even after taking down all of those competitions on the day for the KOMs and the sprint. Let's head on over to Matt Stevens for a little bit of after-race commentary. And so, looks like we are waiting on Matt. We've lost Matt for just a second there on his mic. I believe we're having just a couple of technical difficulties. Everybody, sorry about that. So we're just going to hang out here for just a moment here on round 5 final results. We can celebrate a little bit longer here about Alex West's amazing W out there today.